Thank you very much. Thank everybody for being here and holding until the last talk of the day. After this, it's over. It's only a 15 minutes closing of the day, and then we are going to party. If you are a bit tired of learning, this will be a more laid-back conference. It's supposed to be something around an hour, so I need to do it fast, so that's the bad part. But we're going to talk about SaaS, why it is harder, but also what do we do with it? It's not a negative, everything is going bad, the AI is going to kill us or whatever, but how things have changed. And it's already not working. Okay, perfect. So myself, I'm a CTO of Cloud-IAM. I've been in tech around 15 years old, for about 15 years, sorry. I'm a certified cloud architect. I'm a lecturer in conferences and also universities, and I'm an open source enthusiast, but in a different way, not necessarily coding. And I'm gonna have only one slide to talk about my company because it's very niche. I work for the biggest Keycloak SaaS in Europe. Can you raise your hand if you know Keycloak? Okay, amazing. Do you use Keycloak in production? Great. So we are the biggest Keycloak SaaS in Europe, and we are actually compared to any IAM solution, Identity Access Management, for those who don't know. And we are handling all type of loads. We handle over thousands of requests per second. We have presence in 5 continents, or America and Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Oceania. We are a certified company, ISO, and whatever certification you need. We give support 24/7. We work with both workforce IAM and customer IAM. We have over 10 million monthly active users. We have a freemium model, so if you ever want to create an account and test what it is, just creating a realm, you just go cloudiam.com and you create an account. It's free. It will be the equivalent of a realm in Keycloak for free. We are a big, huge team of 10 people, and we are a profitable company. So with all of this is not the subject of the talk. This is what I'm going to talk to you. So first, to prove the point, we need to go a bit on the past. What has changed, or what events can prove that it's becoming harder? Then we're going to go to the context right now. In 2025, how things have changed, and how should we think about stuff? And this is where we go a bit on the experience of what we have experienced until this year. Then we're going to talk a bit about tools, where we're going to go into what we should use, what we shouldn't use, open source or not. And then I'm going to talk a bit about hype. Usually I should talk a bit about AI, but no time. So I'm going to go directly to hype, to talk about hype on open source software. Without further ado, we're going to time travel a little bit. We're going to go to 2016, and I would love to spend a bit of time and talk about things that happened in 2016. Okay, there is a technical issue because the slides are not updated. Slideshow. Why it's not loading what I didn't see? Perfect. I don't know why. So there are many things that happened in 2016. Probably some of them resonate with you, but as we don't have the time, I'll go directly to what happened in 2016. That was a big issue. So for those who use Salesforce, in 2016, there was a huge outage of something called NA14. So NA14, if you don't know what it is or you don't know how Salesforce works, so basically you use an instance of Salesforce that is deployed somewhere. And NA means North America, and 14 means the instance number 14. So in 2016, there was a huge outage of one instance. What happened to that instance? We will follow the chronology. So in the 10th of May, there was a database failure. And with the database failure, they tried to restore the database, and it corrupted the system. So no backup. So what happened that day? Then one day after, they had outage, so they had intermittent work. So somehow it was working, then it stopped working. People were not very satisfied on what happened. And then one day later, 12th of May, there was an announcement that the issue was closed, that the incident was closed, but there was irreversible data loss. And what does this mean for customers? So first thing is who was affected. We're talking about tens of thousands of users across hundreds of companies. So a lot of people were impacted. They didn't say exactly the percentage of clients that were impacted and so on. There was irreversible data loss. How long? 3.5 to 5 hours of data loss. And if you know what is Salesforce used for, you know that this means maybe we didn't receive messages from partners, maybe we lost some leads, maybe there is some customer that is angry because he asked for something and it got lost. There is no trace of what happened during that period. The downtime was 24 hours to say intermittent during 2 days. And the media coverage was very interesting because it was the first time that in tech the word mega outage was used. In the past, it was used more for electricity. When there was a blackout, it was a mega outage, but it was one of the first time that was really used, this word. And it became a meme because even if the person had a good intention, the CEO of Salesforce, that I don't see his name, but it's not the point, billionaire, I think, right now, and I don't know if he's still the CEO, he became a meme because he tried to reply to everybody saying, if you have an issue, please talk to this person. If you have an issue, and it was at least, you Google the incident and you will see pages of the tweets of him that even if he tried, it became more a funny meme of, okay, this guy is just replying. Did you get the reply from the CEO of a billionaire company? Even if he wanted really to solve the situation, to appease the pain. And if we go in the consequences of money-wise, nothing happened. So if we simplify, there was no public compensation program. So they didn't say we gave money at this point or at this point. The stock market stayed around $77, so nothing changed for them during that period. No churn was declared at this, so nobody changed Salesforce for another product because it didn't work. And the only thing that we got is that a report in last year, 2024, said that the problem costed them 20 millions. I would say 20 millions will make my company bankruptcy. But for them, they were already $1.something billion company. So regarding the quantity of money they make, 20 million is not much. And we're going to see now, if we jump forward to 2022, so we're talking now, instead of 8 years ago, we're talking about 3 years ago, we're going to talk about inflation. Same, there was an issue in the cloud storage system. So a routine script went wrong. I think that phrase, I have heard it, I have experienced it myself. Running something wrong can break stuff. Has happened. What happened was that that script broke the cloud storage to block customers, to put it in simple words. And so some customers were blocked of using some tools from Atlassian for a week, and then others took them 2 weeks to get back to use Atlassian tools. So the issue or the incident lasted about 13 days. Same if we go to the consequences, who was affected, how many. We are talking about 775. They were very specific on the numbers, which means 0.3% of their customers. The only issue was that was mid to big size company, enterprise clients, so the clients that actually pay a lot of money. The duration was about a week for most of them was about a week, and then for the rest was 2 weeks. No more than 5 minutes of data loss during the incident or after the incident. So there was, maybe they could have done it faster and they would have lost more data. So it's like coming back and forward to what they should have done. But anyway, no data loss or almost no. Same, a backlash, because nobody wanted to stop using Jira for some reason. And then if you ask what were the tools that were impacted from Atlassian, there were these three: Jira, Confluence, and Jira Service Management. So if we compare the impact of Salesforce against the impact of Atlassian in a company, you will say, well, actually, nobody's going to stop production because I cannot create tickets in Jira. Maybe you do, and we can talk about design, architecture, why you cannot push to production because you need to create a ticket in Jira. Maybe somehow we can discuss about it, but the probabilities are very, very low. So what happened then, money-wise? So money-wise, I'm gonna show you the data from it. So this is the stock market value of Atlassian during that time. And to be fair, saying, okay, there is April, May, it's going down. It was about 320. Then it went down to about 180, which means like 40% loss in 2 months. But 2 months is too short. So let's put it a bit further. Let's say the year. The year is even worse. So you can see that during the period of April, May, because it's not the exact science, it went very, very down. So in March, the tendency was to go down. They managed on March to go up, and then April went down. Then in around August, they succeeded to get a bit more of space, but then it went down. And if we take the two numbers, they lost in those 2 months the equivalent of 40%. If we take the top, that is about 400 on the left, top left. And if we compare with the end of December of that year, that is around 100, because it's 150, and we take half, it should be 75, or let's say 100. They lost almost 70% of their value. Is this exact science? No. Is it the only thing that happened? No. But we clearly see a tendency here. Something happened, the value of their company changed directly, and it lasted. I didn't check what happened later, if they succeeded to get up. I hope for them, yes. But we see there is a tendency on what happened, what do we do when there is an incident that affects users. Now I will go to the now to see or to share with you, with our experience, what are the things changing with users now. And I'm going to start with 2 feedbacks our clients gave us. So we had 2 front ends working at some point. We had a new version on React and an old version in Vue.js, because why not changing Vue.js for React? Please don't kill me if you are a Vue.js developer 100%. And we had a button that allows our customers to switch from one version to the other and to give us feedback. And in that feedback, they say if they want to publicly share these feedbacks for us and for us to contact them if they want to. So we have 2 feedback here, and I'm going to read them. So the first one is 5 out of 5 stars, saying, really great job on the latest version of the administration console. The UI is minimal and elegant, and there is a ton of appreciable features. Just had a little trouble with functionality. I thought it has been removed, but it's probably just me. Myself, I wouldn't have given 5 out of 5 if I don't find a functionality. For me, it's an issue of the product. But this person was nice. From the other side, and 1 out of 5 stars, saying, and I'm going to add some intonation to it, come on, can I just check out the old console now? Your UI is already crap. Now you block the navigation by this pop-up. I don't have a feedback yet. Same flow, same user flow. There was, because we don't have that old version anymore, there was literally a button that says in that pop-up that said, just let me go. And that person clicked, check the button publicly, share the feedback, and non-anonymize it, and wanted to share what happened. And this is very interesting because we are in an era where people want to share in tech. You don't go to McDonald's and say, wow, my burger was amazing. No, even if it's good or it's bad, you don't tell this. You even go to Tesla to say, I like my car. Not even. But now we are in a phase that in SaaS, if there is a feedback, someone is going to use it. Because it's there, because maybe it will change, maybe. But right now, it's important that we see that tendency of users giving feedback to the companies for free. And from the other side, as we are getting closer to users, they also are less afraid because I know you. You're not going to break the product because I don't like. You did something I don't like, I'm going to tell you, as I will tell anybody. So I don't care who you are. I'm a customer. I know my place. I want things, and I want them now. Even if he had the button, he said, don't bother me, please. I just want to use the product. This is a tendency you will see more, that we're seeing more and more. We have more and more feedback with this style 5.1, 5.3, 5.4, because people, they want to share if they are happy or if they are not happy, to see things change. Now I'm going to share you some phrases that we got from leads that want to use our product. And this is, or let's say, before going to the technical, how things little by little change in the user. The first one is, I'm an European, blah, blah, tech company, and I would like to use your product. This is very subtle, but the interesting part is that in the past, the key word was the technical word. I'm a crypto company based in LA, based in Paris, based in London. But now we're getting more on the, no, I'm first European. I am European, an European company, an American company, I'm a Colombian company, whatever. I am this, and I do this. And you will say, yeah, it's very subtle. Maybe it was just a mistake. But you can see it from the other side, too. If we get to this point of saying, I am this first, we also get this one, too. I wouldn't say it's my preferred, the best thing, my favorite one, but we get this kind of message where I want to stop using this American solution. Change American by any other country, change this by any other solution. Just because functionality is not enough. I want functionality, but I also want it local. I also want it with my values. And how do this link to whatever we're going to do after? I want it to be with my values. I want companies to represent me. I want to know the companies. So users right now, leads or whatever you call them, they have more knowledge. And one of the knowledge is, I know the value of stuff and how you handle. I know people in SaaS, they do a startup discount. So sometimes we have leads that they arrive and they say, hey, do you have a startup plan? And I'm like, but we just managed to be profitable, let's say 2 months ago. You want us already to give you back and we have a free? How much you want? But it's not even the fact that you can or you can't. It's that the user, that the lead knows it. They bring this on the table. You don't need to have it in your website saying you have a startup plan. They will ask. And these can be in different perspective. Oh, I would like to upgrade to this level, but it's so expensive. I cannot do something. I really cannot afford it. In the past, people stay, well, this is what I afford. You don't tell Netflix, oh man, I would like to share it with my cousin in America, but I don't afford it. Netflix is not gonna say anything. But in a SaaS product, people at least try. The more it's a technical SaaS, more they will try and tell you, can you do something for it? And the last one will be, oh, can we have a discount if we have a 3-year contract? Which is very nice, but the lead telling you this, they arrive and say, hey, hello, I want your product, I like, and I want to pay you less. And I'm gonna pay you 3 years because I know that you care about retention of clients and that you want long-term retention. So I'm gonna already tell you, I'm not gonna pay you fully, but I'm gonna pay you long. Which is interesting because also, this means they are aware that this is a practice, a very common practice. We do this kind of practice. But the offering always sounds more interesting for the user than receiving it. The last one will be the values of the people. People are linking the values with the product they are using, which is nothing related to the product itself. If I'm delivering an open source product or a private source product, the product is the product and it does what it does, right? Now it's not enough either. I want an open source solution, but how is this gonna change it? You're gonna log in. Your objective is for your users to log in. Why do you care if it's open source? Because it's not that I care about Keycloak. I care about the principle, about the values it means. If you work with open source, it means something, and I want to connect with that. And I will say a more pragmatic way to see it that is not open source, because one might be biased in this conference. Another one will be, can you deploy in a carbon neutral data center? This is even more like, I'm not going to see it. It has zero impact in the product. In the philosophy of the product is if you allocate time to make it eco-friendly. And this is also goes to the values of your users, of the user or leads or whatever. But that's not all, and I don't have the time to tell you all. Obviously, user want SLA from day zero. They want service visibility, which means I want to use you, and it's a very easy example. I am a fintech company, but I want you to tell me which fintech companies use your product. If you don't have, I don't want to use you. Very hard. Client direct connection. Probably you have a Slack with some enterprise clients. Everybody wants to be an enterprise client. Everybody wants a direct connection with the company. Thank you. Everybody wants roadmap visibility, even if you're in startup, which means, what do? You don't know where you're going. Your clients, they want to know they want you to present your product as, it's very clear, we are going to the future. We are going to add AI. We're going to change this paradigm. We're going to do everything. But in reality, you're not sure, and you're going to draw some paper or something on Jira and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Are you happy with it? And they want that. Certifications, because why not? And short manipulation. The short manipulation is more to to use the strategy of I'm going to leave or I'm leaving, so I want cheaper price. Meaning, okay, I'm going to leave this competitor because it's too expensive. So they know, okay, so I'm going to give them a price to make it less expensive. Or the other way, more common, I'm thinking I'm leaving because it's too expensive. A client that is churning, that is leaving the company, probably will just leave. But in this case, it's more, I'm telling you, so you do something, because in reality, I don't want to leave. I just want you to do better than what you are offering me. Now, and going very fast because we don't have time, obviously, we're going to go to a definition of minimum from an MVP in 2025. So we're going to see tools, and this is where we're going to get interesting. This is all we're going to see in less than 5 minutes, because I have more slides, and we're going to start. So the first thing is before coding. Before coding, I will tell you, create the network. Probably there is already a Discord or Revolt, that is the open source alternative, about the subject you want to create something. This is for the people who are going to create a SaaS. There is a Discord of a subject, maybe Rust, and you want to create something on Rust. Amazing, join that Discord. There is a Slack, or create a Slack for people to communicate. This is the first level of you don't need to code just to try to understand the market. The second one is informal information. Go to X, Twitter, Reddit, whatever, True Social, whatever network you use, and share information. We're in an era where ideas are not enough, because functionality is not enough anymore. So ideas are not enough anymore. Even the product itself is not enough anymore. So if I do an idea, I have an idea and I do it in America, maybe I can duplicate the same and do it in Asia, and it will be enough for Asians. So we are in a period of time where, okay, I have an IP, very, very secret. And I have this idea. Maybe don't share the IP on Twitter, but you can share the idea. And it's okay. We are more in the discovering because you don't know if it's going to work. And X and Reddit are very good to share, like, I don't know, but, and then you will see if there is traction. Then you have the more formal. So you got some ideas from the Discord of Rust, and you ask on Rust links, Reddit. So maybe I will do an article. And there are many places to do articles. I will say these are on tech, dev.to, HackerMoon, LinkedIn, Medium. Use the source you want to understand what you have in front. And if you see there is traction, then you can continue. Then once you have the idea of what you're going to do, you can start writing it. Like what I am going to do. So I have this idea. I want to do something about it. But how I'm going to do it, even before coding, what is the order, how I'm going to release it, and everything. So in this case, what happened is that as people want the roadmap, you can use tools that enable you to do tickets and roadmaps and be able to share it. That way you take your roadmap and you put it in Reddit, you put it in Discord or whatever, and you see if people like. Then we go to the last part of the before coding, that is the feedback. And you're going to tell me, but I have no functionalities developed yet. Why would I handle the feedback, right? What is good about these tools, maybe Product Board and Astuto, that is open source, that they do both. Sometimes you can use tools that handle the roadmap, but also the feedback. So people can and do tell you, well, you want this, you told us this in Reddit, but in reality, I don't think you should start by this and you should do this one and have this kind of vote. Let's say you have one of these tools and you did one of these things. You posted on one Reddit, you created a Slack, and you use Astuto. Amazing. Now we go to the wild coding, and I'm going to go a bit faster. Yes. Don't create your website. Please don't create the website. It's a totally worthless things to do. Use a tool for it. Okay, you don't like to vibe code, don't use Lovable, okay? You can use Webflow. It's no code. At the end, what is going to have your website? Your website is just going to be link to your roadmap, a link to your Reddit posts, your articles, the Slack, and the newsletter. That's all your website should be when you're starting a SaaS. There is nothing else, and then you see the distraction with your newsletter. So maybe you don't like either Webflow because it's closed source. You can use Plasmic. Apparently, it's very recent. You use it, you host it yourself, and then you have your own no-code infrastructure holding your website. Notifications, huge thing, because most of the people, most of the developers, they like developing this part. I wouldn't advise it at all. You are going to something that is not your core thing. It's very cheap, and you don't need to handle WebSocket. You don't need to handle digest of a notification. You just write the notification in an app, and it will push it. Ourselves, we use Headaway app, but there are others like OneSignal that does it. Next one, and the only placement of the company, in reality, is nobody wants to register. Nobody wants to sign in. Nobody wants to create an account. Everybody wants to sign in with Google, sign in with GitHub, sign in with Apple, whatever. So don't even spend time when you're developing your app, know your website anymore. Use a tool. You can use us, for example, if you are very into Keycloak, but you can also use Auth0 or Firebase Authentication, any tool that works for you. Once you have all of these, usually people go to the documentation. Actually, we made it so far because our documentation apparently is more reachable and easier to read than the documentation from Keycloak. This is a huge thing for the Keycloak community, and I will advise you to do the same, because the earliest you start adding documentation that is going to be shown, the easier it is to keep it updated. You don't like Notion, you don't like Gitbook, you can use Docosaurus, that is the open source solution. Very fast. Stripe, of course. I just added another one to the left, so to say that it's not only Stripe, there is Lemon Squeezy. REST client, please don't. If you have a SaaS, probably you're going to be using it by API. So if you don't have a tool that enables you to be able to call your API in a non-front-end way, our clients are going to struggle. So you should be the first one struggling with your API. Myself, I like Insomnia. Right now, I'm using the REST client of IntelliJ, but you can use whatever you want. Probably most of you use either Insomnia, either Postman. We get to the last part that is interesting on this level that is not that known is feature flag. So you're starting developing, but you don't know what you're going to feature flag or not. This is more of a concept. I will totally advise you to go take a look on LaunchDarkly, PostHog, or Growthbook that I think is open source that teach you how to do feature flag, and then once you see how it works, you can say, do I need feature flag? So you have the paradigm before you start deciding if you need or not. This is very, very early stage. Figma, because of course it's always easier, Framers, Figma, whatever, but this is more a rich people issue because not everybody that creates SaaS is a front-end or a designer and has the knowledge to do it, but if you can do, research the same. And I'm going to jump very fast on the production because I have no time. And I will say the key thing that you probably don't know, because the rest you know Zendesk, you know Grafana, you know Datadog, Sentry, everything, is how to handle incidents. I will tell you, once you have all on the top or one on the top, everything connects by itself. You're always going to have problems. The easier way is have a tool that connects to the rest. Incident.io, amazing tool that connects to Slack, that creates the resume of the incident. Everything works well. So ourselves, we don't use that one. You could use PagerDuty also, that is very, very known and well used. We use BetterStack that does the same, but also does status pages for our clients. So every client has its own status page and handles the SLA by itself. Totally worth doing for your enterprise client that want to have an SLA that is simple and say, okay, you did less than what you do, I want money back. That we do. And the last one that is not very known is user tracking that is respecting RGPD. Rybit, I'm not even sure how it's pronounced correctly, it's an open source solution that is RGPD compliant that enables you to track flows in your app to say, okay, is my functionality even worth? Are users using my app? If there is something interesting, maybe I did everything on the top, but nobody's using it. Everybody said, I like, but nobody's using it at the end. With tools like Rybit and Plausible, you can and respect the user live, because it's without cookies. You can check how it works. And then for the rest, you already know, I cannot show you. And for the last minute, one thing we would like us to do is to bet on open source. We told ourselves, when hype becomes a bet worth making, this was one of my mentors that told me this, and what we did is very simple. We said that there is a hype, comes from a belief by a community. If it's only one person believing in something, it's not hype. It's just maybe one crazy guy. So you need more crazy people to believe something to then make it a hype, right? And we said, well, in reality, open source, there is hype in open source because we all believe, or people in open source, they all believe open source is good. So we said, okay, let's do something. Let's use something we want to ride on. And we said, okay, let's say we want to do Rust, even if it's not very recent, it's 13 years old already, it's very safe, it's very demanding. People that are using Rust are like friends. They go play League of Legends and then they say, let's create a new Facebook on Rust because I want to do it on Rust. They feel like a family because it's like always the same people, the same contributors and they're very, very high skilled people. And we also believe that eventually it can grow our business. And what we did, and this is my last slide, is that we chose up an open source project that is not Keycloak, that is called Ferris Key, that is a really cloud native product that can evolve depending on how big you want your cluster, full compatible with the Kubernetes, obviously. That we took it when it had like 80 stars, and we said, okay, the main contributor of the product said, okay, I'm working, and beside of the work I'm doing this product, and I said, okay, no, we hire you, you do 50% of the time on this, and the other 50% of the time you see what we struggle with Keycloak. So we make the product evolve. And this is our way to give back to the community. And we said, okay, we made it to 500% of stars, which is not huge yet, 400 stars, 25 contributors, and 300 pull requests. And we hope we're going to make this very, very big. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Uf. Muchas gracias. Muy rápido en el final. Sí.
Así, súper rápido.
Perfecto. All right. We got time for one question before we start the closing remarks. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody has a new idea on how to build a SaaS and now know what not to do, what to do? Please. All right. Well, in this case, again, thank you.